Welcome back, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans, to another Collider video recap of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I am Will Link, and we're going to be breaking down the second episode of Season 3, Purpose in the Machine. And joining me, as always, to my left.
Hey guys, I'm Arron Fenton. Happy October.
Definitely. Because everybody has a shirt that says Happy October. Definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm not going to snort for you, but my name is Michael Medina, and I'm happy to be reviewing this episode.
What's up, guys? I'm Josh Macuga, here part of the crew.
Yeah.
Say it, scream it. Here for the first time with the crew for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Marvel.
Welcome to the crew
Thank you,
tonight.
thank
We're
you,
happy to
thank
have you with us. And because it is your first time here,
man.
I figure baptism by fire.
Yes.
We're going to throw it to you first. What did you think of tonight's episode?
It was action packed. There was some. I think there were some good moments where we questioned a lot of what was going on, but I thought that they could have worked the monolith into a full other episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could have cliffhangered this one. Are we going to spoiler alert kind of thing? I don't want to.
I assume everyone's
everybody
seen
that's
the
watching
episode.
is
Say it with
seeing the
pride.
episode. Same with pride. I thought that they could have, at the end there, they could have let the monolith keep going. Like, I can't hold it. And boom.
Yeah.
I think that's good TV instead of, finding and that we find out that she's okay and they brought her back from the Sleestack planet from Land of Lost.
Well, I think that's something we're all going to be talking about in a little bit because very quickly afterwards we didn't want to say too much, but we're all kind of like, oh, maybe this could have been extended a little bit more.
Yeah.
But what they gave us was pretty good
Yeah.
in this episode.
It was. I was super surprised though. I really thought fifth episode they were going to bring her back.
Fifth episode. Wow.
I thought so. I thought there was a lot of things to experience. I thought we were going to see some alpha primitives chasing her and give a little bit more backstory to that.
I know after the episode, Will, you said maybe flashbacks. Maybe we'll see some flashbacks. I hope we see some of that because I'm with you. I thought maybe episode 4, they would stretch it out a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be told still about the monolith and the planet. And so it felt a little rushed.
And because they destroyed that monolith, we can't really go back, or if there was something she left there or something she experienced there, I got to go back and find it.
But we know there are other portals out there.
Yeah.
There are
Of
other
course.
portals, and I wouldn't be shocked if later in the season a lot of that becomes about finding other portals. There was an Asgardian in this episode, Dr. Randolph, who's afraid of portals. He wants to destroy portals, which means
He's not
there
trying to
will
go back.
And we know from his turn in Ghostbusters 2 that he loves traveling through slime.
Exactly.
Slime
It's
of some
Vigo.
sort. Yeah,
Vigo.
Vigo.
Peter MacNicol always does a terrific job.
have the baby. The baby.
Oh, Mike, so overall, tonight's episode.
Late. I was super late on that.
You
last-
don't know that?
Ghostbusters 2?
Ghostbusters
Oh
2.
my
He's
God.
the doctor. Vigo.
Is there a Ghostbusters
The
2,
baby.
guys?
There is a
Really?
Ghostbusters
Does
2.
anyone
Go
acknowledge
look it up.
that?
Yeah,
Gotta
okay.
watch it. Peter MacNicol in it. Great work. Great work.
Yes.
Yeah, tonight's
I like
episode.
this episode. Again, I'm with you. It's very action-packed. I enjoyed it. It wasn't perfect, but I like the pace. I like some of the characters. Well, I'm sure we'll touch on some of the individual characters in a minute here. But overall, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a strong second episode, especially since episode 1 was so strong at season premiere. This was a good way to follow up with that.
I really didn't have any problems with this episode. I really liked it. I love the whole Frankenstein feel to it with
the
the
room.
monolith, the room. I thought monolith.
Monolith?
Is what I
believe
said.
it's
That's what I said.
monolith, but we'll go with monologue.
Monolith.
I like
I know what I
monologue.
said. I know what I said.
Well, one thing I liked about this episode, because it was a little bit, it wasn't as action-packed as the previous episode, but I think they really concentrated more on some of the characters here. We finally get to see what Ward's been doing. We get to see what May's been doing. And also, what I liked about this episode was that it focused on the team. This is a team. This is a unit that has to work together. And in a sequence, especially towards the end, we saw them really working together and everyone bringing their special skills, be it Fitz being able to figure out everything with science, Daisy using her powers to vibrate the room, basically get the right frequency, and of course Mac showing his brute strength in our favorite.
On three. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Mac. That was both badass and hilarious at the same time.
Well, see, That's a good point though. What you said.
Her
about
hat came off. She
Yeah, it
was
was
exerting
just
so
how-
much strength.
How into that moment we were.
I'd like to point out also that Aaron's Inhuman strength is the ability to change hair color at
true.
at the whim, at the drop of a hat, and she rips it.
Here we
It
go.
also is ripping apart mics on an after show. Nothing big.
That's we don't.
So-
we don't need microphones.
We don't need microphones.
Get you out there. You go.
Okay, things are falling apart.
But
Do it live. Just do it live.
Do it live. What you said
We're
about
having
the
too much
team.
fun. Yeah.
I like that point because they mentioned Daisy mentions in the beginning that the team's down to like 3 people basically.
Yep.
People are off doing their own thing. The team's a little broken, not quite there together yet. So the fact that they are the way they are and kind of coming together, I like that aspect.
Well, let's talk about Daisy then. I almost called her Sky again. I'm glad, we talked about this in our first episode that we're going to keep doing that. And Coulson, we're in good company because Coulson keeps doing it. And it's been used to comedic effect so far in the scene. But when we start off in this episode, she wants to kind of get this team together, this team of Inhumans together. And she's upset that it's going to be she's assuming that Andrew's going to come there and he's going to say it's another 3 months of observation. And that's exactly what happens when he comes.
Yeah.
But to me, that is also extremely reasonable of him.
Well, also too is like, I think she feels like she keeps being put in the friend zone when she's clearly the leader of this Inhuman crew. You know what I mean? She has the most control over her Inhuman ability. You're not going to give Melty McMedelson the reins of the
Melty
crew.
McMedelson.
Yeah.
That's a good name.
Thanks. Yeah,
That's-
it's a work in progress.
Yeah,
I
do
hope
you
that
guys know
turn-
who he's going to be?
I have no
Melty
idea.
McMedelson.
I don't. Melty.
Theory.
I mean, I really hope that he's not a substitute for Inferno. Because Inferno is the guy who blazes up into fire and he melts things and he's just can't really control that. I would really like to see him. I think that would be a really good character to have on the team.
Could he just be somebody completely unique and original, though? They might also go that route.
What's unique and original?
Yeah.
I know. I mean,
What is
maybe
that?
I'm saying, maybe I'm.
All right, Tim Kring, take it easy. We've already been through 3 seasons of Heroes. I mean, I think that maybe we need a little bit of a palate cleanser from Fantastic Four before we see another blazing up person.
Okay.
So McMedelson can get it going in his little cube of fun. Let him figure that out because the nice thing about it is, which is always sometimes why I've had problems with Flash per se, is as soon as you find a metahuman, it always goes to an evil one. This guy seems like, even though we didn't see any of him really in this episode, is that he seems like he has his head on his shoulders and he could be somebody that's good, as opposed to every time you see one of these Inhumans, they're going to be bad.
That's a good point though, because I think he was still a little confused, obviously with his new abilities.
Yeah.
He didn't want them. Clearly. So, I mean,
Yeah.
he's kind of fragile right now
Yeah.
because he could be swayed. He could be evil, but I like the fact that they're not like Flash. They're not automatically evil. You know, he could maybe go down that path. Something happened in his life, and then he ends up joining the newly reborn Hydra.
But Andrew's right. You can't just start a guy who can't even open a door right now because he will melt the doorknob.
Yeah.
You can't just bring him in. And actually, Andrew, there was a lot of warnings from him in this episode. He was talking about, desperation leads to mistake. And Coulson is being desperate. Sky is desperate to get this team together.
Daisy.
And
Daisy.
Get it
Ah,
right.
see, ah.
Daisy.
See, you know what's tough? It's like when that kid in grade school, his name is Chuck, and then he comes into 5th grade. He's like, I want everybody to call me Charlie this year. And everybody's like, dude, you're Chuck.
No, you know what?
Take it
You
easy.
established it from the beginning. You're
Yeah,
Chuck. You're
you're
Chuck.
Chuck.
You're,
Exactly.
It's like
always
T-Bone from Seinfeld.
Exactly.
Call me
It's like,
T-Bone.
T-Bone.
You're always
Go,
going to
go,
be.
go, go.
You're always going to be Sky to me. Is
Yes.
what I'm saying.
Oh, Will, throw it out there.
Exactly. I know. It's what my heart
You can
says.
contact Will at Twitter handle.
Yeah, at the Real Will link. But Daisy, she has to. I feel like this was a great warning of things to come, like that it's been put out there that this desperation is going to end up screwing over this team at some point. Like Andrew's put it out there, it's in the universe, it's in the show, so now it has to happen at some point. And it's just a matter of how it goes down.
And if you were playing the Agent Coulson drinking game at home, he said, I can't lose you 3 times. So
Three
that's
times.
3 shots you have to take this episode of Agents
is a
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
game?
Yeah.
We weren't playing this at all.
Well, it's new. We've just developed
Oh,
it.
okay,
It's the
great.
Agent
I
Coulson
mean,
drinking
I'm
game.
like now
And you
thinking-
can't drink with your right hand because you don't have a hand, so you have to drink.
No, it's a
with your
left hand. It's a left hand.
Oh, it's a left
It's a
hand?
left hand.
Okay,
You
so you
gotta
have to
use your
drink
right.
with
your
Gotta
right
use your
hand.
right.
Good. I'm a
Okay.
righty, so this game will be
perfect.
much easier for me. Now let me ask this: like Sky, like they're basically she's being groomed to be this leader. Oh God damn it, Daisy! She's being groomed to be this leader.
Every time you say Sky, drink.
Drake. That's for you guys out there. I mean, I don't even know if she's ready for that role yet. I mean, how do you
She's
feel?
ready. She's ready.
She's very willing.
She's willing. She wants to find all the Inhumans, and frankly, I really want to too. Like, they kind of sped up the Simmons backstory, like, getting her back. So I think they really want to open up the ways to like more Inhumans.
I think that was probably the reason why we aren't seeing more space, other planet.
Yeah,
action.
I mean, I think they're saving that for. I mean, I definitely think the planet she was on was the exile planet that the Kree use, or like Inhumans.
Well, Professor
used
Randolph did say it was like death by banishment. Was it?
Punishment.
Punishment.
He
I'm
said,
sorry.
yeah, that symbol that we saw last week, and there was a lot of talk on the message boards about that. Like, oh, what could that death thing mean? Well, now we find out a more deliberate translation is death by punishment.
Yeah.
So whatever, you don't get sent there for anything good. Let's put it that
How
way.
many cool Jewish kids are putting that on their bar mitzvah T-shirts
Yeah,
this year? That thing is
Exactly.
awesome.
That was a good symbol.
They were he was also talking about like what the monolith.
Oh, you
what
almost said
triggers
monolith
it?
again.
I almost
Drink.
So they were talking about like what triggers it, and I really think it only triggers when an Inhuman is in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that Gemma has like an Inhuman. Oh my
Look at
gosh.
this. Excellent. So we have the Sky Jar. I guess
The
every time I
official
say
Collider
Sky-
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Skyjar.
So anytime we say Sky, I guess we.
You have to put.
I am
$1
going
in.
to be completely broke by the end of this thing. Okay, you were saying.
Thank you, Wendy.
Long story short, I kind of think that Gemma might have an Inhuman gene in her. Someone, like, there's some people out there who are like banning against or for the whole scroll idea, which still would be cool. And for those of you that don't know, scrolls take all of the humans' like thoughts and like memories, and like forget that they're scrolls. It could be a scroll. I doubt it, but it would be really awesome if that was like a twist. I don't think so, though.
I know a lot of people were saying that if we don't get them, it's because of a rights issue,
Yeah.
possibly. Which is that's the thing. All these things,
Rewrite it.
all these characters are tied up in so many rights issues. You start to lose track of wait, Fox has the rights of these guys because they're with Fantastic Four and this and then.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's definitely the.
It's like doing a cover song and just changing one word. It's like because I'm great.
Yeah.
I'm great. Crap. God. Yeah. I mean, that's where we're sitting right now.
Pretty
But I
much.
do like the scroll idea
Yeah.
a lot.
I mean, it would be really awesome.
Because then if everybody just turns into an Inhuman, we're like, ugh, really?
I know, like you don't want to overdo it, but I don't know. I think Gemma being an Inhuman might turn to a bad Inhuman.
Oh, really?
Why do you think she'd be bad?
Because she just hates them so much. She would like hate herself and like maybe
Very
grow
self-hanged.
dark.
She'd resent being this
she would
thing.
resent it, and then she would end up accidentally hurting everybody. Oh no! Oh, do you think she might kill Fitz?
Oh.
Again, another
Oh my
thing
God,
that
no.
that you're known for on the show already is to go dark, and that would be really dark
I
if
would
she
be
killed
really
the man.
upset.
I think Fitz is gonna be okay.
You think
I'm
so?
gonna go on a whim and say he's gonna.
Yeah, they don't usually kill the Scottish guy. He usually sets on around.
Oh my God, you could do the accent.
One thing we didn't really get into last week is Fitz's brain damage seems
His
to be
stutter is like gone completely.
a thing of the past, and maybe it's because he's so focused on this one goal.
That's what it is.
That's
we're
what
gonna
it-
go with that.
Yeah,
we're gonna
that
go with
cures
so
like if he could
focused.
I think
focus
that's
so
called
much.
poor script supervision.
But I'm okay with it, I guess. In the end, I'm all right with it. But I would have liked a little explanation or.
Yeah.
I mean, can he really? I mean, good for him. He got it under
He
control,
beat it,
I guess.
guys. He went
beat
to a
it.
Sylvan Learning
beat it.
Center and he's done it. Sponsor of this show, Sylvan Learning Center, where if you're an Inhuman, you can get rid of your stutter overnight. Back to you, Will.
We were talking about the planet that she was on and stuff like that. Do we have any more theories over the past week? Because people are still tweeting at us questions like, "Oh, do you think you know what planet it is?"
It could be
things
like one of the moons.
Blue side of the moon.
Like the blue side of the moon. It could be the Kree capital, like one of the moons over there. It could be Hala. It could be a number of things. But I really, honestly, I think it's just an exile planet for all the Inhumans, and I think she's being chased by alpha primitives.
That last scene when she wakes up and she basically has PTSD from the planet, and she has that like whatever. I'm guessing she was being attacked in her sleep, or she would never really sleep soundly. I think that obviously they're going to go in that direction where she's been mentally just broken down, right? And there has to be some sort of direction that she goes. We're in an evil direction. I think so. And
accidentally
I'm glad
shanks Fitz in
Quit
her
going
sleep.
to Fitz kill rap.
Fitz, I'm sorry.
You weren't
I
here.
saw
You
what
weren't
that
here
accent
last
was.
week. You weren't here
Did she
last
kill
week.
everybody?
No, last week she wanted May to get pregnant and then get shot by Ward and lose the baby.
Listen.
This isn't the Sons of Anarchy. Okay, this is Marvel.
Oh my God.
But no, I'm glad you brought that up because shout out to Wendy over here. At the end, so I watched the episode. I got here a little before you guys, and I watched that scene. And Wendy was like, "Where'd she get that little piece of that little shank? Where'd she get that from? Like, is it they redressed her? She's clean. She's laying in the bed. Where did that even come from? Like, because there's only one place you can possibly hide that, and it's gonna hurt coming out. I would imagine.
Oh man,
I
you're
would
disgusting.
imagine.
It could be between her boobs.
I
You know, it
doubt
could,
that.
she could
but
have made
sure.
it like, you know, she doesn't feel comfortable and it's just a. I don't know.
That's where we're gonna go.
I have no
yeah,
idea.
we're gonna
Was it
go
a
with
pet?
Maybe she
I
was
don't know.
gripping it the whole time, and
never
they're
let
like,
it out of
"Well,
her
let her
hands."
keep her jagged rock."
Let's move past it.
It's a souvenir
fine.
from the
That was
planet.
Sir Wilson from
Well,
the
here's the
alien
thing.
planet.
I think what we do need to see. I do think we need to see some flashbacks at some point because last week we saw something was chasing her on this planet. She clearly has this PTSD. Now I don't want a whole Castaway-esque episode where it's just Simmons alone on this
Believe
planet.
you me, I'm not asking for that either.
But I do hope we get an episode that kind of cuts back and forth between how she's doing in the real world planet
like
Earth
triggers.
and back there.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we will. We're going to get that because, again, like we said, we're clearly not happy with the fact that it felt a little rushed.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, this is a big deal.
It's a big
So
deal.
they have to give us a little bit of backstory as to what's going on because she was scared. Clearly, she was terrified. So we're gonna get some of that. Yeah.
I thought the whole sequence, though, and I mean, you said Frankenstein-esque or whatever, when they were in this old English castle, and the beginning, the episode starts off in a little weird fashion where we see this group of old English guys in 1839, I think
It's
it
like
was.
a frat pledge room. Like,
Yeah.
who gets paddled? Black rock. Like, oh, white rock guy. And they're like, good luck in that big rock, pal.
Yeah.
We just lost Chester.
But that scene really did work because, like I said before, it was real teamwork. Fitz figuring everything out. I thought that was like a classic Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. scene that you want to see.
She better go on that date with him now. I swear to God, if she's just like.
And Fitz dove in. Like he
did.
went, last week I was saying I hope he really last week I was the one saying he should have given real weapons to terrorists and hurt his soul to had to save her. But he threw his whole body and soul into saving her because he knew there was a good chance he wasn't coming back.
It's a new season, new Fitz.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you guys felt
That's
about
a good
the whole
hashtag right there.
hashtag new season.
Fitz.
New Fitz. How'd you guys feel about the whole that hidden laboratory? Because it felt a little like cheesy Scooby Doo to me. It's like death, and then Coulson just hits a little
liked it.
random brick. It just felt Scooby Doo to me. It's like they
I
could have done something
totally
better
liked
with
it.
that.
I really do. I love the whole.
Was very fortuitous in his brick picking.
A little bit.
It was. I'm kind of on board with you there. That's where I think they rushed us into that portal area, the Frankenstein portal well,
I love
Baby
that whole
Jessica in the well
gothic
kind of
thing,
area
though.
thing. Yeah, and
Baby Jessica.
sorry. It was like the set dressing. It did feel a little. You go into one of these medieval torture chambers and everything just supposedly turns on. You can't even leave Christmas lights for 2 years and plug them in and they're going to work. And this thing's from the late 1800s.
Fitz channeled his inner Fonz when he hit that thing.
Yeah.
And started working.
Oh. Yeah. And then he was basically to jump in that pool. He was like, "Oh, guys, look, a bird!" And then he jumped in the well. Like, "Oh, Fitz, crap!" So it was again. There were parts that I really, really did like, but then there were parts where I was kind of like, season one.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
I'm kidding.
Nah, like I said, I think it worked because it showcases everyone's skill and Max even too. So that was good. And he had a great. He's had some great little one-liners and stuff. But this one, I feel like there was a moment where I feel he just grunted at some moments. And he was like, and it was hysterical. He's become one of my favorite characters.
See, here's the thing. That's why I've got to disagree with you. I'm liking him less now because, you guys, I said in the preseason episode how I felt about Mac in season 2. It's kind of whatever. A lot going on in season 2. You don't want to shoehorn another story arc in there. Fine with that. Season premiere, lot going on. Take your time. Fine. episode 2, it's like this is a character that hasn't really been fleshed out much. I mean, I feel like he just like relays information, gives like cheesy little like one-liners or whatever. Like that's all we get. I want to see more.
Scottish guy in there to say a few words.
That would be nice. Can you talk like that the rest of the episode? By the way,
do the whole,
that would
do
be
the whole
impressive.
show in your Fitz, in your best Fitz impression.
He's a good actor. I like the character.
Yeah.
I just want to see more from him. I just don't want to see him as just like being a huge body that's just there whenever they need him.
He's become the Rock of the show.
Yeah.
Like that's what he is. He's just but you know,
Aaron is pissed. She's
I
over
don't know.
there
I really
stewing.
like him. I like him. I think he like kind of grounds the team a little bit. He's the human side. He doesn't really. I don't know.
He should get an Emmy nom for episode 1 of yelling at The Rock. Like best supporting actor is the monolith, and he gets best actor because they had a moment there.
Well, I will say the one character trait that I think is important that they have given Mac is that he is kind of a skeptic on some of the stuff.
Absolutely.
He's the quickest to question Coulson and everything they do. You know, there was, you know, Coulson says like, you got to bring something. You're not going to like what it is. And we've already fully established like he is the one who wants, he doesn't want to deal with this alien BS at all.
Yeah.
Like he's in just like, give me an axe and let me fight people, let me fix a car. I don't want to deal with Inhumans. Speaking of cars, the episode also starts with Ward trying to get information. He's driving around in this fast car. Now, Ward in this episode is he's working on rebuilding Hydra.
I like Ward.
Okay, I
in
was
this
going to
one.
ask you because also famously, I like everything's very famous with you
Yes,
already on this
okay,
show.
sure.
Famously, in the first episode, you called Ward a pussy.
Listen, yes.
So I want to say if your
My
feelings have
stars.
changed.
I definitely believe his character was going on the pussy route in season 2 when he was like coming back and going, hey guys, I still want to be, the good guy team and Sky when she was still named Sky.
Oh, put jar.
When she was still named Sky, like
That's
I love
questionable.
you.
Technically, she
okay.
was still Sky. At the
Okay,
time.
okay.
Anyways, I thought like they didn't really know where to go, and he was just blah. But this episode, I thought he was funny. He's like coming back to like the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I also saw this mini like one-off series of like
This is
the
going in a weird
actor.
place.
You know what? It doesn't matter. Good job. Good job. I think that you're going in the right direction. You're becoming the Ward I want you to be.
He did what all of us have always wanted to do: is go onto a boat full of douchebag, playboy
Yes.
kids, and one punch them all off the yachts. I wouldn't take it as far as shooting one of them, but
No,
I mean, he
yes.
just whack, whack, whack. He's like, you have a trust fund, you're out. You have a trust fund, you're
That's
out.
why I like Ward so much.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's one of my favorite characters on the show because he was so boring in season 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I like the twist. I mean, when he pulled out the gun, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, that was cool.
I don't think he
dope.
was that boring in season 1. He was like really like a great secret agent. He was like
Well, in
undercover
retrospect,
deep.
in retrospect, he was brilliant because he was so boring. No one would have ever thought.
Oh
he'd
my
make the
god!
Hydra.
It was set up. It was character setup, and I thought it was great. The only part I didn't like was when he came back and he was like, "Let me be in the team after killing all you guys." And I'm
Does he go-
yeah,
does he
that's
walk
cool.
like
He
that?
did
Here's
all
the thing,
that.
though. Ward is looking for a place to fit in. And he
Yes.
has found that with now rebuilding
Hydra.
Hydra. But it's also, I thought it was great with this kid, Alexander, that he kind of is bringing him under his wing. And he uses his father, and he uses the kid's father issues.
Who's
and,
Baron von Strucker, by the way?
Yeah. So he is going to kind of use that idea to manipulate this kid in a way to come on board, or maybe it's not even manipulate, but use the idea that like you want it to be part of you wanted to know your father. Well, guess what? Now you can be part of this thing, and in a way, Ward's going to become a father figure to this kid.
Yeah. And the kid, for those of you guys watching at home, you recognize him. He was the son in Gladiator. We all looked that up immediately.
Yeah, we were like,
it was the
"Who is
small
he?"
beady eyes of this kid. And I like that. I like the fact that Hydra is starting from like they were the fraternity, to go back to a pledge thing again. They were like the fraternity that got kicked off campus, and now they got their charter back, and they got like the cool guy that's a 7th year senior in Ward, and he's like leading the comeback.
But I have a question. So what happened between May and her ex-husband in, was it Maui that they stayed in, or some part of-
Maui.
Maui?
Yeah.
Like something happened, right? Where he was just like, "Hey, I just want to call you and see what's up," and she was like very cold, and he.
Well, clearly, because I mean, her father, who I also really enjoyed in this episode, he's been in so many things. What was his name again? James Hong. James.
Oh, I
Hong.
love
Great
him.
actor.
I was
Big
so
Trouble,
excited.
Little China. That's all you have to say.
You recognize the face immediately.
Yeah.
Of course, absolutely. Well, he was great in this episode. She says that she's there to take care of him because of his hip, yada yada yada, whatever. But clearly, there's something more because she damn near cuts Lance's head off.
Well, we find out that he was in a car accident. That's how we heard his hit.
Yes.
And there's this idea that maybe Ward's coming after the people she loves.
Yeah.
So the Bobby and Hunter spinoff is like May gonna be on that show with them?
Well, here's the thing, and I think that it's possible because I would have to assume maybe
Definitely.
Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will take another 2 months off like they did for Agent Carter.
Sure.
And that's what we'll get. That's when we'll get the miniseries. So those characters may not play a major role, but I could see May maybe popping
I think she's
in
like
for
going
an episode or two.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bobby and Hunter are definitely going to come back for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I hope so.
Well, they mentioned it. They're like, hey, Bobby and Hunter are leaving, or Hunter's leaving, and then Coulson was like, yeah, well,
Don't
not
forget
for
Adrian-
good. They're coming, or not Coulson.
Adrian Pilecki played Wonder Woman in the pilot that never went anywhere. So there's always I mean, listen, she's not gonna be Wonder Woman because we're in a totally different universe, but there's always the chance that she's some sort of superhero that we just don't know yet.
See, I actually thought you were going. There's always the chance that this pilot doesn't get picked up.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's the thing that they're going to film a pilot. And my actually big question wouldn't be is May going to be part of that pilot. My question would be is Ward going to be part of that? Because
Definitely,
he is the
yes.
guy they're hunting down. But you don't want if you're Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., why would you lose your big bad? Basically, why would you get rid of
Because
him?
it's not going to be about Agent of Ward
That's what I
anymore.
was gonna
It's going to
say.
be
He
about
might
the
not be the big bad.
Inhumans. The Inhumans, Lash is the new big bad. They're like putting everybody else aside into the new Bobby and Hunter miniseries, and then we're going to be focusing on the new Inhumans and Lash
Well,
and the Secret Warriors, and that's what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to be
if
about,
this
right?
is true, this is very upsetting to me because my favorite stuff is kind of the Hydra stuff and the stuff that's a little more
Well, I
grounded.
think-
Then you'll tune into the Bobby and Hunter after show.
Okay, I'll
I think
watch
we-
that show too.
I think we might still get that because this is a good way to still keep Ward in the mix without him having to be this season's big bad.
Well, I think what could is you get Ward start recruiting the Inhumans into Hydra,
Yeah,
and then they disguise them in the under the Hydra cloak. They get they take away some of those Inhumans that would be good enough to join S.H.I.E.L.D. and he forces them into the darkness that is Hydra,
Well-
and then
What about Lash?
Well, I was going to say, would Lash, who's clearly out to kill Inhumans, would Lash
Going
ever...
to be in the Inhuman movie, maybe? Like he just made an appearance,
Well,
have a better
no.
costume in the Inhuman movie?
please God,
Look, the Inhuman movie isn't going to come
tall
out...
Sonic just didn't go
Yeah.
for him.
The Inhuman movie's not going to come out to 2019, and let's face it, this show might not even be on the air by then. So I don't know how. I know they're laying groundwork, but I also don't know how much immediate groundwork.
Oh, you know
is
what
being
they're
laid.
also doing? Like, okay, so they're doing a new show called Damage Control, and it's all about the people who have to clean up after Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all the adventures. And so that's
Is it a
also gonna
comedy?
be. It's a comedy.
Oh, okay.
I
It's
love
gonna be.
that.
It's gonna be shot in the way of supposedly, I think, The Office.
Oh, so
That would be
Talking
kinda
Heads.
funny, actually.
Yeah, because I always would make the joke is the best job to have in any of these cities is an insurance adjuster. It was like it's just rack them up. Let's
Yeah.
make it happen. Everybody's
always-
going bankrupt.
Whenever I watch an action movie or anything, I always think of the guy who's like, car got destroyed on the side of the street, and then he comes out that morning and is like, what the hell? How am I getting to work? Like, I want a movie about that. Yeah. God damn that Thor. The other, you mentioned May before, May getting real tense. Last week I also brought up the idea of, is a happier May or more content May going to be as aggressive? Is she going to be as tough a fighter? And I feel like the answer was yes. The second we saw how she turned on a dime, the second some shadowy figure just walked past her father. So I'm like, she turned on a dime. And it was kind of fun to see, it starts off with her playing golf, but she's fully prepared to kill literally anyone who walks into that house.
Takes
not
that
just
Ginzu
anybody.
knife and she's just ready to go.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
May. I mean, she can't just, Tiger can't change its stripes, right? I mean, she's always going to be our May.
And that's what a lot of her story was in this. And even her father was pointing out, like, she is not someone who quits. She always gets back on top and whatever is going on.
I think we'll maybe see a softer May. You know what I mean? Maybe a little bit, but she's still going to be, tough as hell.
Just with less figure skating references.
Yeah. Well, and you brought up clearly, Andrew's going to play a big part in the season. What we see in the last scene is that Andrew is kind of, I guess, going undercover in his class. He's going to be in his psych class, and I guess he's going to use him as a way to infiltrate S.H.I.E.L.D.
Start the planting.
Yeah.
Plant.
So,
And I know Kevin Feige had mentioned about the whole like blending in the cinematic and the television universe.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're kind of in this, going back to last week's episode when we saw the president. I feel like that's starting to happen a little bit now with like really fleshing out the Inhumans and with Andrew, and then maybe we might see like Ward pop up in a film or something if he's going to in fact end up heading Hydra.
again, I feel like it's always going to be more, even though I saw what he said, and it was funny. He said that like the day after we recorded last week's episode.
I'm assuming he watched our show.
Yes.
But I always assume it's still going to work more where it's going to where movies affect TV more than TV, because more people see the movies. I mean, there are people who go see the Avengers films who have not watched Agents
Just
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
worldwide
Right.
access.
Yeah.
You know, we should also now talk about some things maybe, and we did at the beginning a little bit, but maybe going a little more in depth, some things that we didn't really like about the episode. And one thing about how we were saying how we wish maybe Jim had spent more time on that planet. One reason why is that sequence, although it was so great to see Fitz like dive in there and possibly sacrifice himself to save her, it was really overwrought. Like it just the way it was filmed, it was like so over dramatic. And I don't have a problem with that if not for the fact she's only been gone 2 episodes. I know in their minds she's been gone months and months and months. But for us, it was literally 2 episodes. And I feel like maybe had we sat with her I didn't want her gone even as many as 5 episodes, but maybe if we had kept her away a little bit longer, us as an audience would have felt more of a desperation.
It almost felt like they left Gemma on the planet because they were taking the summer off because they weren't shooting episodes. Like that's really because they were like, well, we're gonna get the monolith now. We're looking for this guy.
Once they finally put their mind to it, oh yeah, maybe we should finally do something.
Gemma's been out there for a while, guys.
But I felt like this was the most interesting Fitz has ever been, for me personally at least. So I would have liked to have seen more of that.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting that now we get to see how the relationship with Simmons plays. Now that maybe, you know, well, I mean, the last time they did talk, they were going to go out on a date, basically. You know, she was finally going to.
And you know, nothing's going to be
chance.
perfect. You know, there's going to be a little bit of drama in there. So is she right in the head?
The next 3 episodes are gonna be like, I'm just not ready.
It's true. Oh my god, I hate.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
I hate that
like
so
we're
much.
I
rushing
hate.
things.
You're absolutely right. That's what it's going to be. There's going to be a thing like.
Add that to the drinking game list. How many times she says, I'm not ready in the next 3 episodes?
I'm not ready, Fitz. I'm not ready.
Well, Josh, there's some other things. I mean, that's the big one that we kind of all felt. Were there some other things from this episode that you weren't feeling?
No, actually, I thought this was a really entertaining episode. I thought that's really what we hit was that they just rushed right into that monolith. I thought.
Yeah, I agree. That and like the Scooby-Doo, you know,
Scooby-Doo
laboratory
haunted
was
house.
a bit over the top.
Watch
and
me
then,
hit this brick. Oh, yeah.
I loved it. I loved it all. I liked it. I mean, besides, you know, I would have liked to see the little drama spread out, but I'm actually more excited about seeing new Inhumans come in. There's so many. Like Frank, Naja, like lineage. Oh my God. Like that's a tie-in with another movie that's coming out.
the good
That's
thing we still
probably-
have what, like 21 more
sure.
episodes, so we
good.
have
I think
plenty of time.
we've got plenty of time to introduce some of these characters.
Oh, the Seeker. It's insane.
By the end, it'll be like all the boy bands in the mid-'90s. There'll be so many Inhumans, you won't be able to tell them apart.
Well,
I'm excited.
Let me ask you this then. One more thing that it kind of is a pacing thing. Were you surprised that May? Because by the end we see May has come back. She's there with Hunter. I thought that might get stretched out another episode or so.
Well-
I mean, were you, Mike?
Do we know if she's back though? Because we know that she's back with Lance, but Lance is already gone to go take out Ward.
No,
so she might not be back with the team yet.
But I mean, isn't being with him still being back in action?
I guess in a sense, you know. I mean, yeah. I guess. I mean, what would we have seen her do though? You know, like
We'll see
more
May on the other
episodes
show.
playing golf.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I kind of like this is her home. This is where this is her sweet spot. This is where she belongs. So I'm actually okay with that.
Okay.
Me at least, I am.
Aaron, you okay with that?
Yeah. I mean, I think if you want to see May, you're just gonna have to tune in to the Bobby and Hunter show.
I'm the only one who wants to see a whole bunch of episodes with a tortured May just hanging out at a golf course with her father. Like, yeah, is she ever gonna be all right again? Will she ever fight again? Like, that's what I want to
just cuts
see.
to Coulson. Can't lose another one.
This is, you know, and I mean, here's the other thing. You know, you mentioned Coulson has this kind of familiar refrain.
Yeah.
I also worry. I'm the one who's trying to find these bad things in the thing, but I like that Skye is like. Damn it.
Get it in.
Okay, what do
Nailed
I got? I
it.
don't think I have small bills.
That's okay.
Doesn't
we'll take
matter.
large.
All I have is 20.
That
Throw the
works.
change out.
No
Just put it
change.
in
We
there
have no
for now.
change.
I'll put this in for now, and eventually we'll make change. There you go. Daisy. I hope she doesn't become a broken record of saying these sage-like wisdom of things of being different means making a difference. You know, like I mean, that's fine for now, but if that's a thing that in each episode she says a
She's
little.
just reading Instagram quotes
Yeah.
out of a
I mean, that feels like something a poster that somebody would have with a cat on it. you
Hang
know?
in there.
So okay, so I guess at this point, is there anything else from the episode that we've missed? I think we covered just
No.
about everything.
Great job, guys. Keep it up.
Wow.
Okay.
Great job, guys. You guys did great.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
Shut up.
Don't stop
It was-
believing.
Well, I think it'd be time to turn. And no, it has. It's been a great season so far.
Yes.
I agree, and it's time to see what some of you guys think when you tweeted at us at hashtag Collider AOS. So let's see what some of the questions maybe you guys have. Okay, this is from Joseph Geiger. How many episodes will it take for Hunter and/or May to confront Ward? Josh, what do you think?
5. I'm gonna go 5. With a trend towards 6.
Okay. I'm going to say you're going to have to tune in to their other show.
Do you really think that they're not going to do
Stop
it on
it
this
with
show?
this spin show. You
I
are
really-
This is like
Listen, I think they are like pushing all these other characters aside to make way for new Inhuman characters to build up for the big Inhuman film that's coming out, and then the new war
Civil War.
Civil War. Thank you.
Well, I'm sure they're building stuff to that. So that's goes. The Inhuman film, though, it's still 4 years away.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
I don't know. I really think that might be a thing that they're doing.
I
They're
agree with
pushing
you, but I think they might see maybe an episode or two before that spinoff, just to kind of
Okay.
like build up a little steam for it. Just because I really think that we're probably going to see the least May this season than we have before because of all this. And I know the spinoff is really technically it's Lance and Bobby. That's their spinoff, but I think May is going to play a role in that. So
I mean, I'm sure if the show gets picked up, I'm sure they'll all, move. But I also question how much ABC wants to devote airtime to all Marvel shows. I mean, would this be a summer series? Like, that's the thing. We don't know when this is going to be. So I think, I'm with you. I think within the first 5 episodes, they're at least going to get on Ward's track.
You can't keep creating 2 separate shows without some sort of.
They're gonna pull a Gemma and Fitz, and it's gonna be in the next episode that Ward's dead.
You just keep killing people.
Hey,
Well, here's what I assume for this, if this Hunter and Bobby series ends up a go, whoever Ward is bringing into Hydra now are going to start to be the heavies in that series. I think you're going to see, I think Ward is going to stay Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with maybe, he might pop up on it, but I think the people he's starting to establish now within Hydra are going to be the people that they're hunting down in that series. That's what I think.
Okay.
And none of us know anything. So no.
we really don't.
All hypothesize.
Let's see what the next question is. This is from Quincy Ross. Do you think that Simmons will be forever changed from her experience in another dimension?
Yes.
Mike, when do you want to start?
I'm
going
going to say yes. She has to. Clearly when she woke up in the middle of, from her sleep, she was a little a little PTSD there, So, clearly she's not going to be right. Hopefully they'll have fun with that, play around with that a little bit. Don't rush for her to be like, oh, I'm all good now, So, have fun with that.
I'd be really disappointed if she was like, I'm all right, I'm okay.
exactly.
I would be really disappointed.
Her
She has to be changed.
Her PTSD is going to be the brain damage of this season.
I'm not ready.
Like Fitz was last season.
I was not a fan of the brain damage.
Well,
I hope it's not that bad.
Don't
I hope it is. I hope it's worse.
Be prepared not to be a fan of Simmons's PTSD.
I think it's going to be like her teen angst rebel phase, right? She's going to be in this,
Being dressed in black and
topic and all that kind of stuff. She's going to be in that sense of like, you can't tell me what to do. I was on a planet. I need to find myself. And then,
I am so curious how I'm so curious how she survived on this planet because it
Yeah.
doesn't look like there's any resources.
No.
It's like Doctor Doom in Fantastic Four. He was there for what, like a year?
Yeah.
And just like how
Doesn't
did-
make
you don't
sense,
eat?
and her clothes look pretty damn good for being stuck for months.
What I said when we were watching right after is when he gets to that planet and they're reaching for each other, it's like when Frodo puts on the ring in
Oh my God.
Lord of the Rings.
The
Everything
wind.
just is like windy and thing, and he's like, you're like, hold on to my hand in this crazy wind-filled planet where I'm supposed to be survive for 2 months while we were on summer vacation. Like I don't know. It's that
Well,
whole.
you know what? Here's the thing, though: is the passage of time the same there?
Whoa, so like Interstellar?
I mean, is it like Interstellar?
It could be wormhole-ish, where she feels like she's only been on there a day, but she's really been gone 3 months on Earth.
But then she wouldn't be all PTSD.
Right.
True.
So
PTSD.
PTSD. She wouldn't be like that. So it has to be some significant amount of time.
Right.
But at the same time, that's why we need to see flashbacks. We need to see how she survived this.
I mean, she would be like longer. It would be her time there would be longer because when he like shot up the flare, like she was I imagine she was like someplace far away from the portal, and then she sees this flare, and it's gonna take time for her to like walk all the way to where Fitz.
No, because I think she was
was.
treating that planet like Capture the Flag. Like her flag was the portal, and she didn't want to go far because
I don't know.
Because if they were
I-
ever going to find her, they were going
I'm
to go to that
frustrated. Now I'm like angry, and I just want
Is
to
that-
know
is that
where
me?
was Simmons? What's going on?
Sorry.
There's no answers. There's no answers.
There's
Let's go.
literally no answers.
none.
So we'll take another question. This is from Why? Do you think that Fitz and Simmons brought some type of powers back with them? Now, this is a perfect one for you, Aaron, because that's what you were speculating before the season
That's
even
what
started.
I was thinking. Like if she has an Inhuman gene and something happened and something changed her. I mean, I honestly think that she could be Moonstone, which is really awesome, and I really think that was more likely to happen if she's to become anybody, or Moon Dragon.
Now you're just. Those are just
They're
like
two different
Liz Phair.
different people completely. The thing is, I don't know. I don't know if she's gonna be like that changed. It would be really awesome if she was. I just
Those were also side acts at Lilith Fair in '97.
Yeah,
Moon,
same thing.
Dragon, and Moonstone.
I mean, like in one
They
of the
opened for
series, like
Alanis
Moon
Morissette.
Dragon
Yes,
is
yeah.
Drax's daughter.
Well, I could
Yeah,
see
man.
Simmons, yes. Fitz, no.
No, not Fitz.
No.
No.
Well, now, why not? Because he wasn't. Because
Well, like-
I mean, is that question speculating that because just by going through the portal they've picked something up?
Well, if we're going to assume that it's activated by an Inhuman, I mean, it
Inhuman.
clearly did not affect him when he was like pounding.
At
Like,
all.
oh, I hate you, Rock. You know, we didn't get any of that. You know, so I think he's okay.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be okay. If anyone's changed, it's her.
Yeah.
Okay, you're on board with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I think I'm assuming that's it for the Twitter questions. So
Okay.
I guess that's it.
Good questions.
Yeah,
questions.
good questions this
Yeah,
week.
they were good questions.
Another great episode. I think we are going to get some of them tracking down Ward a little quicker, and I'm looking forward to next week. It looks like Rosalind Constance Zimmer's character is coming back, and I
like her a
loved
lot.
the
Yeah,
stuff
she's really
between her and Coulson last episode. Already a lot of people on Twitter were shipping those two. And I'm all for that too, because anything that gets two really great actors
Yeah.
working together more, I'm all for. So before we go, let's just tell the people, Josh, we'll start with you. Tell the people where they can find you.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh Macuga and my YouTube channel, Between the Sheets TV.
Between the Sheets. You can find me down at the food court, but if I'm not there, you can also find me on Twitter at Mr. Michael Alexis.
Yeah, find me on Twitter at Agent Fenton.
And you can follow me on Twitter at The Real Will Link. And we thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week.